for our conversation.
Okay. So you guys have been.
We've met before. We met
last year.
No, we met in
Before
2021
that.
maybe, or before
Yes.
that.
Oh, a long time.
Sorry, we're just having a chit chat.
Yes.
We'll include you in a minute,
sequence.
so let me talk to you while they talk
It
to
wasn't me.
themselves. I don't know them. In fact, I don't know any of them. I'm going to pretend I don't know them. So, how are you all?
Barbie and yourself.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm okay as yet, but I know by the end of this I am going to be, because you're all here and you're going to tell me a lot of things. And I'm going to try and add into what you ask, but I'm not sure. She knows it all. I'm not pointing any finger, but she knows it all, so I'm going to leave it to that. So,
My big question, tomorrow, no MONSTERAMA, what are you guys going to do?
oh God, sleep in.
Yeah.
Have coffee, have a glass of wine,
There you go.
get up and say, it's breakfast time, and then pack and think, yeah, we've got to get a taxi now, time to move on. And then make plans to come back and have words with Madeline. So there, you see?
You know her now.
She's organised everything. So
You know those two now.
Not really, I'm still pretending I don't. I am still pretending I don't, but I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm Pauline Peart, and they can
I'm Martin Beswick, just in case you hadn't noticed.
I'm Madeline Brumby. I'm delighted to be here with these beautiful ladies. This is such a treat. Have you had so much fun so far?
I'm having a ball, loving it.
Oh, good.
This is my first time here, by the way.
That's great.
Madeline has been here before, you know. But this is my first time. We'll be back.
Is it your first time also to Atlanta?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
How do you like it so far? Besides just in this general
Well,
vicinity.
it's a very nice hotel.
Uh-huh.
Next time she'll be able to visit
Period.
outside of the hotel.
Well, we'll have to show you around town.
Yes.
It's really fun. Atlanta's a lot of fun.
Actually, you should see her studio and her shows. So she's not saying anything, but she does shows.
I'm not the focus of the conversation.
Oh, but you are. We're making it you. We have to.
Right.
Serious note.
Over to me. I have really just. I think I appreciate you as a fan and for all the work you've done. I've enjoyed so many of your films, and hopefully we can have a little bit of a talk about anything that you want to share or the audience is curious about for anything about that, or just career. And we just are so delighted to have you here.
I'm delighted. I know. I'm very delighted to have you. Oh no! Oh my God!
You can't see a thing, so.
No, you know what it is. You know what it is. It's everything's sort of dragging today. A little bit of a late night. I couldn't. This morning it wasn't. I couldn't go to gallop or even a canter. It was a slight trot and a stop.
Well, a trot.
Yeah.
Blame Anthony for it.
Yeah.
It's his fault, and all that music, and all those fantastic people dancing away, and doing a raffle, and
Yeah, Shane and I were hosting till the end last night, so we were there till midnight to hand out the last prize. So I'm very tired. I sound like I smoke, but I don't.
Oh.
I've got that like sexy morning smoker's voice right now.
Without having
Without all the damage, I suppose.
So, we had a great time. Were you there last night? Did you go?
No.
You went? Yes, you were.
You were there. You were there. You danced.
Were.
I know. I saw you on the dance floor.
See you gallivanting and jiving and,
Yes.
and all that
Yes.
sort of thing was going on.
Yes.
And I'm
I have to
thinking,
admit, I was suffocating in that mask.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I was breathing like Darth Vader. I mean, I had a Michael Myers outfit, and I was like
Well,
I should
that's
just wear
what
makeup
happened
or
when you go
something.
dancing and wear a mask. That is not a breathing mask.
They need to invent air-conditioned masks.
You know, they do make them, but they're.
Do they?
They do not.
Well, I mean,
Well,
you
yeah,
have to wear,
but-
you have to wear, but you have to wear the like cooling part of the comes. It's very heavy. It's not as nice as you think it would be.
Probably expensive too.
Well, I wore a mask 2 weeks ago. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, I almost died in it. I kept saying,
Was this in the church? Or
in the church.
okay.
And I went,
Yeah, she went to go film at a prehistoric church.
oh, I haven't told her about
There was
that.
a plus
It
to
sounded
this.
great.
And I had 2 horns.
Wow.
Little, I could hardly see, and being blind already didn't work. And there were no nostril air vent, and so I'm going. And then trying to deliver lines is not the best
Yeah,
idea.
you can't really
Not
talk
the
with a
best.
mask.
I did. I mumbled. I was great at mumbling.
I had to write everything down so good people, and then a lot of people wanted me to pose with pictures with them, like I was a celebrity, and I'm not really a celebrity, but I scared some people in the elevator.
That's good. But you had on
Yes.
the right outfit to make you be part of it all.
Yeah.
And
The
you
power
were
of
part
costume.
of
Suffered
it.
from my arm.
There you go. And it works. Yeah.
It was
So
awesome.
there you go. I know about breathing.
Thankfully, thankfully, we all know about that.
Oh yes, we do.
Right. So, what do you think, guys? Do you have any? Do you want us to talk about anything? Do you have any questions or any? You know.
I have one for everybody.
Oh my goodness.
What project would you have wanted to do that didn't quite materialize in your universe?
I had a couple. I had a couple. One, actually, what I really wanted to do, I even wrote to Gene Roddenberry. I wanted to do Star Trek.
Oh,
I wanted to do, I mean, and I went up so many times for a part, and I always got picked by another English actress, by one of the others who had the tiniest, biggest name. And so I kept going up. They kept putting me up, and I kept going and asking for me, and I never got. So I finally wrote to Gene Roddenberry and said, I would make the most wonderful anything. I would really like to be on your show. I mean, I don't know exactly what to do, but I did. I was very seriously wanting to be on that. That was my big thing. Yeah.
Oh, that could still happen.
It
Well, you
might-
should
it
tell them
might-
you're an
it will.
investment, because the name's not big enough now, it will be after that, so that's the next one.
Yeah, no, it was all over. It was all over. So, and now I'm happily retired. So,
that's great.
For me, was Space 1999.
wow.
And I had my hair cut, I did everything for it, and had the costumes and that. And then the main lead said, I cannot have her work in the same scene with me. No, we can't have her. And
Yes, why would
She
Was there a
she
reason?
must have been jealous. She was like, this woman is too beautiful for me to be near.
She will tower over me. And
They have apple boxes for a reason.
yes, it happens. And then I went, that's it. And about a year later, a friend of mine got the part, so I was really, really pleased. But I had everything done for it, and I was looking forward to doing it. And I will never shave my hair off for anyone ever again.
You shaved your head off, hair off.
Yes, and they had
That's
the
good.
pictures. And the costumes were fantastic, but it didn't happen. And that I really wanted to do. Beyond that, I'm waiting for Joshua Kennedy. We have a script and unfortunately our dear friend Veronica died. And so we didn't do that film. So even that takes precedent over Space 1999, because that's the only way she's going to unretire, but just that one film. In memory of this one beautiful friend we all have. And then she will work, and then I will hang up the hat again, too.
Oh, you haven't hung up your hat yet, darling.
I'm trying to.
Well, I did, and then of course Joshua came along, and then, you know, what could I do? Because he's now known as my husband.
Yes.
And we actually, it is hilarious, because we've known each other now for 11, I think when he was 19, he just turned 30, and he wrote this film for the Hammer Girls, and it was Veronica, Caroline, myself, and Christopher Neal. And it was just a joy, I can't tell you. The House of the Gorgon, have you heard of it? And it was just, I mean, it was a tiny little film, and it was 8 days, and we were absolutely all in love. We could not leave each other. We were absolutely attached. Whatever we had, breakfast together, we had lunch together, we had, even if one was not working, we all were there, just watching and being with each other, and just it was like a gathering of kids. Really, it was just
really nice reading.
So much love. I can't tell you, it was the most wonderful experience. And so Joshua and I have become, you know, we literally call each other husband and wife, and it is so hilarious, because we are like an old married couple. We chit each other. Oh, can I have a chat with you? Yeah, I know. And we kind of gossip, and we do this whole thing. It is hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But he's my dearest friend. He's my dear, and of course he's always writing something. So next time he'll definitely have you in.
Well, he sent me the script.
Oh, already.
You and Caroline and the rest, and sad that when Veronica came, and so she yes. So now, and it was set in Whitby.
Ah, yes, but he's done another one like that. So now he has to do another. He's got to write a new one.
Yes, and we're supposed to be in an asylum.
Oh,
And I'm the mad killer.
perfect.
And she's the awful matron who gives out orders and dictate, get rid of. So we murder quite a few people.
But isn't it fun to murder, darling?
Oh, isn't it? Just tell me about it. Actually, there's one person, no, he's not around in here, but I'm going to, him I would like to murder. He wanders around and he says he's talking to you, and then he starts to talk about something totally you don't know what the hell it's all about. And could you come back to Earth? You were telling me how you got here, but I don't know about that place. I've never been there. And then he started, I've lost my car. And I went, I can't help you. I don't know. I'd like to. I can't help. And so, yes, I would like to be the first on my hit list.
Do you have a method in mind? Do you have a preference?
You can come and join me. We could definitely get rid of him. So, have you got any questions? I mean, we've been talking and rabbiting on forever.
Do you guys prepare for this? I mean, do you kind of
Well,
refresh yourself with your material?
That's my first time meeting Martine, so it's kind of more fun just to let something come naturally than calling you and I had met before. So it was fun to just catch up and see what we had been doing over the years. I didn't share my failed auditions for like something that I wanted to do, but I also wanted to be in Star Trek.
Oh,
and there was
really?
something that I would love to. So I was so into Star Trek. We lived in England for 6 years. When I was
No
14.
one's allowed to get out of here until we're finished.
Put
We're
your
going to
seatbelts
close
on.
the door.
Seatbelts on. You
You're
have to
all
stay.
tied up in here until we interrogate you.
Check in, but you can't check out.
That's it.
So what
I went to English school from, we were stationed in England. My dad worked for NATO at the time. He was a colonel in the Air Force. And I went to English school for year 3 all the way to year 6. And one of the assignments we had was when we were learning about making a key for a map and having sort of instructions. And so I created the MB Enterprise, very self-fulfilling. But I created the bridge, I created where the doctor, I actually presumed it was going to be a robot in the future, but I had all these things. So I was so obsessed with, and Shane says, my other half, who you may have met, he's like, your spaceship is so lame, because at the end of every page, I wrote, no smoking and no bad drugs. Was like, he's like, your spaceship sucks. But it was like all decorated with stars, and I filled it all in. It was like, I still have it. But go ahead.
Just any tales from Satanic Rites of Dracula or James Bond movies?
Tales?
Any tales?
Something interesting that happened on set? I don't know.
Okay, the only thing I can remember is being in that dungeon. I was chained up. Not a nice feeling, but it looks good. And it comes across all sexy with a wet outfit that's see-through, and water is running down. And you can't see anything because you're wearing contact lenses, and they're hard lenses in that period. And you really shouldn't be blinking like this all the time, and you are doing it. Then the suckers leave you and went to lunch. And the water's still dripping, and you can't move off those alcove with the cement, because if you pull it, it's only plastic really, and if you do that, it'll crumble, and then they'll have to build that bit. So Muckins here was like this, all wet, tits out there, see-through outfit, blinking like I had a flashing thing on. Can't see because everything's a blur. And that was my remembrance of the film. Everything else got cut on, probably on the cutting floor.
Just the trauma.
Just
you only remember the trauma.
I will never forget that, because I gave up contact lenses. I walked into doors instead. Doesn't work. And now they call the lovely soft lens. And they're beautiful. But I won't have it.
No, we won't have it.
Because that was the most horrendous experience I've ever had. I think jumping off a plane or anything like that is lovely compared to you don't think about that sort of death. You just think about the pain, and you're going, I'm never going to have any eyes anymore. So there.
Actually, the image, you've just painted a perfect image. I could just see the poor thing. I know the arms out. I mean, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, I certainly don't have any of those. I mean, I don't have anything like that. I mean, I can't remember if there was any kind of horrific thing. Nothing like that happened on Thunderbolt. In fact, I had a ball on Thunderbolt. I mean, and it's a well-known, well-known fact that I was taken out there along with all the others, and because I was playing an island girl, and I had not seen the sun in a long time, I was now grey. I mean, not just white, but grey. And so I certainly did not look like your normal, suntanned, bronzed island girl. So they had to call me. When I was shipped out there with everyone. They chartered a plane and took us all out. I was called along with everybody else for 2 weeks, every morning, I had to go and sun myself and eat because I was also too thin.
What a challenge.
What a terrible, terrible thing to have to do. I mean, it was hysterical. I mean, I have pictures of me literally lying between coconut trees, and I basically, if anybody says, "Oh, what were you doing?" I said, "Working." I'm working. Really, I'm working. And in fact, they didn't put lava me with 50 or SPM. They literally made up my whole body. So they made it up so it kind of protected me. And I got a fabulous tan. I mean, you can see the pictures after. I got a really fantastic. And I really didn't. Lying down and getting a tan is not my idea of fun. So basically, I was let loose on the beaches when they were working. And I would just kind of wander around, and you see pictures of me. I have pictures of me dancing by myself. And I have a picture of me literally dancing. There's Sean in a chair working with working with someone, and he's completely ignoring me, and I'm just like, oh. Entertaining myself, because it's like a kid let loose. So what was I going to do? I mean, basically I was on my own, except of course when we had lunch together, or and played together. But basically they were working, and so was I.
Yes, getting tan.
And eating.
And eating.
So yeah, that was one. I wish I could find the call sheet. Because I wonder what they put on it. I mean, was it Martine Beswick to tan and eat?
I have a question for Martine.
Yeah.
That movie Cyclone, with a lot of good people in that movie.
Yes, I know.
And I remember it's like one of my favorites. I love movies like that.
Really?
And what was your experience working with, who was that director?
Ted Olenray.
Yeah, Fred Olenray.
Fred Olenray.
He did a lot of it.
I actually really liked him. I mean, there was something about him that was really terrific. And all of us, I mean, in fact, Russ Tamden was on there, but he didn't have anything yet. And he was an old friend, so all of us kind of gathered, and we kind of kept giggling and saying, well, we're sort of like, recycled actors. And here we all are, having had quite big, and Martin Landau before he got his
John
Oscar.
Tall was in that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Bowery was.
I mean, it was just an amazing cast.
That was a good cast, and Jeffrey Combs was really good.
Exactly.
The Reanimator.
It was a really, amazing cast. So we all kind of had a giggle at ourselves being in this sort of low budget theatre. But Fred was just lovely. And we enjoyed ourselves enormously. There was one thing we did do. As we were gathering, waiting to do a scene, and I remember it was Martin, and it was Russ, and there was, I don't know, somebody else, maybe, I can't remember. There was a group of us. And we started talking about, well, here we are, this film. And I said, yes, but I think Martin says, well, I've done worse. I said, well, so have I. And so we started comparing who had done the worst. And I said, no, I'm sorry, you cannot beat mine. Mine is Prehistoric Woman. And then Martin was saying something else, and Russ was saying, and we were literally vying for who had the worst film, who had done the worst, lowest film. And so we had a really good laugh. We laughed at ourselves, and we laughed at him. But it was a fun shoot. It was really, and it was a good little film, actually.
It is a good film.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of turned out, I love Fred. I mean, I used to see him, after that we'd catch up with each other. And Sybil Danny was a friend too. And so we sort of moved in that little group for a while.
I met Sybil Danny at one of the Monsteramas. I was dressed up like Jason. And I walked up, I was behind her, and she goes, you better be nice or I'll kick your butt. Yeah, she's intimidating, even today.
She's fabulous. I love her. I haven't seen her for a long time. But when we see each other, that's the thing about some of these shows, because there are some of the actresses that we kind of catch up with, within several years or months or whatever. And when we see each other, it's like a joy. It's a total joy, because there is such respect and love for what we've done, you know, for our careers. This is a sister.
She is brilliant.
And as for there's Carolyn Monroe, which is a major sister.
Yeah, man, her too. She's real nice.
She was here last year.
Yeah.
I missed her last year, but I got to meet her a few years ago. I dressed up as Stella Starcraft. So
Yes.
And she was like, she's so sweet. She's like, you look like and I was like, no, I don't. I don't. No way.
No, she's fabulous.
She's so sweet.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
She's absolutely wonderful.
She's just a heart of gold, this one. She's just
And
divine.
Susanna Lee, who I met before she passed away, actually. And she was very gracious. She actually worked for a friend of mine in Florida. So my friend Cindy, who she used to work with, she told me that she was awesome, you know, and she had some stories to tell. This was at one of the MONSTERAMAs years ago. This was in, I think it was in Atlanta.
2018.
Yeah, it was the
one.
same time Carolyn Monroe was here. She was
Yes.
sitting right next to her.
Yes.
And I was able to get a selfie with her.
Oh, wow, that's
She was
lovely.
great in Lost Continent. That's a weird movie, but it's like those monsters in it are like weird.
I love that you have some of these like really beautiful friendships that have carried on for decades. Have you ever had, you said you had an audition where somebody kind of like didn't want you to be in the show. Have you ever had relationships that went sour on set or any scrappy?
That was the only one, and
The only
it
one.
was the test and the run, and that was it. And she says, I can't have her. She'll tower over me. Can't help being tall. I love being tall. In fact, I wanted to be 2 inches taller. And somewhere along the line, it didn't happen. And I still blame my father for that, because he's 6'6", and I don't see why he had to have more than any of us, and my brother is, and my other sisters are. And I'm the shortest.
This is the short. I look at you and I go, my
But I'm 5'10". I wanted to be 6. He should have given me the extra 2 inches, so I blame him. But that was it, and I did tell her of her, even when I was
because
on
she
the
is
other side of the set, and they had to shoot across. I was, and I can understand.
This is my Amazon queen. Have you met her?
She is.
I mean, I look at her and I think, oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
He's over there. That's
Martine,
what
did you ever have any where somebody maybe wasn't very friendly, or you always, everybody has been, it's been a delight?
You know,
Because it's a different level of, your experience is so different than anything that's like I would experience.
Yeah, I know actually, not with women. I mean, you know, yes, I mean, you know, there's a story about Elisa Gurr and I not really getting on, but we did. We got on, we were professional, and we did a great fight. But she wasn't a sister. You know, that's all. She just wasn't a sister. There's some who aren't, and there's very few who don't become a sister or part of my tribes.
Yeah.
You know, very, very few. But there was one thing that happened. I remember I was doing it was a pilot for a new series which never came off, which is a shame. It was really good. It was called The Crime Club. And I was sort of the front woman to this club. And I arrived on set, and the director, Jeannot Swart, who was a big TV director, and he's a French, little Napoleon. And so I arrive on set, and we start to work, and he's not met me. And we start to work, and he says, and we do a scene, and he says, but what is that? What is that accent? I said, I'm sorry, what? He said, what are you saying? How are you saying this? I said, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Well, I did not know that you had this accent. Why are you putting it on? I said, and I turned, and there was sort of a fire that went inside me. Basically, what I wanted to do was just turn around and slap the shit out of them. I mean, it just was so, it was appalling behavior. And I looked at him and I said, shame on you. I was hired for this job as I am, and you're questioning who I am. What is this all about? So anyway, he kind of crawled off on its own, and we did do it. It's a shame that it didn't happen because it was a really good idea, you know. But and of course, it would have been a series.
And that would have been fantastic.
We all wanted a series, didn't we? So we could go and buy cars and travel. Yeah.
What was your favorite place either of you ever traveled to do some of your shoots?
Goodness. I did Cuba in Spain instead of Cuba because we would have been arrested and we weren't allowed to go in there and shoot. I loved that because we were in Cadiz and that was really, really fantastic. We did.
Don't you have a few?
I have a few.
Yeah.
Like Germany, but then I complained bitterly because there were too many people with guns around me, and I kept going, boy, I hope I don't bounce into that one. He might fire at me and I'll be dead. And it was just funny. So I stayed in the hotel. Unless I had to go out and get to the location, I stayed in the hotel. Didn't move. So, but I enjoyed the people, I enjoyed the time, and yes, they're my favorite places.
Well,
Jamaica. I'm from there, I know it. I don't want to leave when I get there. And Atlanta, when I come here, but now I love Milton Keynes. There are no people there, I think it's 100 people and about
5,000 sheep.
There you go. And then I had the pleasure of coming here, and I'm waiting to see that place. He has a place in the mountains, somewhere in Louisiana, and I want to go there. We have to go there.
What is this? What is this?
Yes,
It's
it's a
this?
cabin in the mountains, and he has electricity.
My.
It is
So modern.
because at this church that I really love this little village. More sheep than people. One church, miles away from everywhere.
Are you talking about
No
Milton?
toilet,
Milton Keynes,
no electricity, no water. Lovely nettles, which we talked about yesterday.
We
so
said,
won't
well, I had to
repeat
fill
that.
in the American crowd here, so I knew what I grew up in
Yes.
England, so the nettles are a normal thing and something you avoid, but Americans may not know about nettles, which
It's like poison ivy.
yeah, it's instant. Instantly raises your skin, which not everybody has been around nettles. So
Those are my favorite location, but this sounds like such a good location, this cabin in the hill that I want to go there. And I asked him if I can bring friends. He said, so you're putting me out of my own place. So I said, no, you can couch in the corner. So I'm going to find him again today and find out about this place. I think it'll be a great a memorable one.
I'm sure you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a cabin in the mountains in America can mean so many things. So many different climates and so many different types of land. So yeah, it'd be an adventure for you.
it would be, but during the days you can see the valley. It's 13 or 14 miles away, so I could push him down the cliff and nobody would find him for a long time. And the fact that he kept going on, there's water, there's electricity, all we have to do is hook it up. And
just hook it up.
And I went, So he says, oh yes, so you must come, you and your friends.
Who is this person?
I'm going to introduce you to him. He's here.
All right.
She can't remember his name.
I cannot remember his name. I've met so many people that...
That is so normal to me. I mean, you know, it's like, it just says, but we met. And I went, when? And I particularly like when they say, oh, it was 20 2006. I went, I can't remember yesterday.
I can't remember an hour
I
ago.
know, are you mad?
He wear kilts. There you are, yes.
Oh.
Yes, he loves skirts.
Is it a kilt or a
Dress.
utility kilt?
The person, he wears kilts.
Is
and
it a
that-
kilt like a Scottish kilt, or is it
Oh, yes, but
or
he
is
makes
it a
them.
utility kilt, which is something very
No, it's a real kilt.
okay?
Yeah,
But
I
he
know that.
also makes some of his own and really fashionable killer type MONSTERAMA t-shirts underneath it and all that. It's beautiful. So I don't remember the name,
All right, well,
but
sounds
as
like
I
a good idea.
say,
the kilt.
I remember the kilt
Sounds
and
like you'll
I'll
find
his face. So we'll find him after.
Very good.
So there you are, you see.
Well, my locations are many. I mean, and there are different things. I mean, for instance, there was a million years BC. There was Lanzarote, where there's this incredible pea green lake, and it's right next to the Atlantic, and right around is this incredible, colourful rocks around it, and there's black sand and to the sea. So the colours are incredible. When you sit, and we had to be in the water in the lake, and at the top, it's cold. Gotta do with some water. So sorry.
That's okay. I'll go get you some.
I don't have any in my, I don't have my bag.
On the bottom, because it's volcanic, it's hot. So you're standing in this lake, and it's hot on your feet, and it's cold here. And it's so beautiful. It's stunning. That was one of my favorite. But I also loved Almeria, because I did a really 3 months I was on a horse. Oh my God! Thank you so much. It was a western, and I loved that. That was really fantastic because it was desert, and I hadn't been in a desert before. And I fell in love with it. That was really, and of course on the board, the Bahamas for 2 months.
What a shame.
So there were a lot of them, but those three are the main ones.
A question for Pauline. You were talking about being chained up and the context hurting. What about the fangs? You didn't mention
The fangs, well, two types. One I could bite with and blood runs. And the other, just the look of it so I can bite.
What?
Yes. And I did love biting because I had it for a while and I got used to it. So I used to walk around the studio and friends and I'll just say, "Hello, darling, come here. Just give me your leg for a minute." And I would do that, and it didn't matter. There were ladies, there were gents. Roy Skeggs got a lot of it. He was the producer. It was his fault. And so I quite enjoyed the biting bit.
Could you talk? I just wondered if you were
Yes, I
chained
could.
up there and
You
you're kind
can.
of, hey, somebody comes and you're like, because the fangs might have been.
No, because
Something like
you have to be able to speak with them and bite. Because the first time I had to try it, they came out. They popped off. And I said, if I have to wear them, they've got to stay up there and they've got to feel comfortable. It must be fitted. It's like part of me. And they got it sorted. And so once I put it in them during the early hours of the morning, it didn't come out until at night. So I had Floyd lunch and dinner until we were finished.
Oh, wow.
So that was okay.
I must say, I really wanted to be a vampire.
Oh yes.
And in fact, basically every Halloween, I became a vampire, right? And it was all different. I was a punk vampire, I was a female dressed as a male, every year it was something different, and we were all reading the Anne Rice books.
Oh wow.
So, I mean, we were obsessed. And I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and there was a place called West Hollywood, where they close off the streets, and it becomes like a street thing, and everyone's dressed up, drinking, doing drugs, like everything. And they're just wandering around in these amazing outfits. And there was my friend and I who were completely obsessed with it, and we'd wander around, do our thing. And then every now and again there'd something pass by, and I'd just go, and then I started really, kind of, people would say, oh, do that again. I started giving it's like love bites. And I started giving these love bites, and people would go, and in fact I had a friend of mine, she was a mermaid, and she was this lovely little friend of mine, and I said, oh my God, you look so gorgeous. And she said, I know. And I got into her, and it was like, really, we were like making love, because I literally kind of just did something, and she went, with a little tail.
He did it. He had
I
to.
did too. I forgot what the door was.
It's
From
actually
the
it's more fun
vampire.
because I have hearing aids.
That's funny. I was watching The Vampire Lovers last night in the screening room, and much as we love Ingrid Pitt, I was thinking Martine Beswick would have actually been great in this.
Yes, she would have.
Would have been such a good vampire.
No doubt.
Oh, but I think you might get the opportunity to.
Ooh. Up in the mountains. With electricity and water.
Martine, as a vampire, what would you do with eternity?
Sorry?
As a vampire, what would you do with eternity?
Thank you.
With eternity?
Yeah.
I would live eternity.
Keep biting and living,
It's a little vague.
and you get all the blood you can.
Is
Yeah,
there
bite and suck away.
Is there something in particular besides the sucking and
Oh, well,
that you
I don't know if we're
accomplish
gonna
with
go
your
there, but
eternity?
I guess are you team Lestat or team?
No, I went further.
Oh.
Because she
Okay.
did all these
Oh, I know,
series.
I know.
She did that female one, and I did her.
Oh, nice.
And that was, that was really powerful, because in fact, this friend of mine and I would get together, and of course we weren't there. While we're getting together, it took us 4 hours to put this all together, and full makeup, and we went to, hired costumes.
Okay.
Did the whole thing. And while we're doing this, there's something that we started to kind of really get into it, and we kind of look at each other and go, ooh, what is going on? It was like really, we were kind of like moving on a different place. It was really, it was like, we kind of obsessed. We were obsessed, so it was easy just to go right in. And it was just, we were so, and so by the time we hit the road, or hit the, doing our passeggiata, as they call it, as we drove, it was like everyone around, it was like just, we became, and the whole body started to kind of, really, I felt like I was actually becoming a vampire.
I love that.
Really,
I think that's wonderful, the power of costume. Have you had, besides this incredible experience of transforming yourself into a vampire, did you ever have a costume that you really loved in one of your movies?
Oh, no, not you
No,
two.
don't worry. Did you ever have a costume, either of you, that you felt like was just so much fun to wear to help you embody a character, or a makeup that you felt like was really transformative for you?
Yeah, I did an Italian film called Il Bacio. Il Bacio, yes. And it was actually Il Bacio della Morte. It was like the kiss of death. And I played this really exotic, mad dancer. And I do these, and I had to learn 2 dances, and one was to this incredible, it was like, and it was very much in the era of the 40s, so it was Art Deco, everything, all the rooms, the houses, the clothes, everything was very, so it was it was an actually beautiful film, and the wigs were great, and the makeup was fantastic. And there was this costume, the first dance I had, and I've got the photograph on the table, and it took 4 hours to put on. And it started with hands that were literally formed to fit like a bra. And it went, the hands like here, and it went all the way around. And then there was a whole thing that happened down here with leggings and collars and drapes, and then I had this head thing and everything, and they had to kind of sew the stuff on, literally and the makeup was absolutely outrageous. It was truly bizarre because I really felt like I was somewhere else, totally. And I'm kind of leaning towards being, out there anyway. Just in case you didn't notice. And so that one really, I mean, it was like, I sort of went there. I went into this character, and it was very bizarre. It was a very bizarre dance. And it ends with me lying on the floor, being whipped by like a devil. It's most bizarre, and it was really, yeah.
And this dance that you did was choreographed in a dance?
Yes,
Okay.
Oh, no, proper. And that I had to learn. I mean, it took like weeks, and I had another one into the film, and that one was like the dance of the 7 veils. So I had to take off veils and just, bare breasted, and I had to take off the veil, and I had to dance and do this whole thing, and end up on a bear rug, a white bear rug, and then, call this man over. So I'd seduced him because I gave him drugs and called him over. And I called him over, and he happened to be my ex, by the way. And called him, and actually we had gone off and had a little puff before we did this, because that's what we were supposed to be. And so he comes over to me, and he gets on, starts, and we start to make out, and it's all, so much so that the director couldn't hardly stop us. He kept saying, he would have to come right up and say, Maurizio Martini, basta, corto, basta. And we would like, but it was, and
Pauline is blushing.
Actually, we started laughing afterwards because it was like, I mean, he was my friend for life. He was a soulmate, and so it didn't matter that we'd broken up. But here we are starring in this film after we'd broken up, and you put us together. Ooh, something's going to happen. There we are.
I'm glad
on
something
the
good
white
happened.
bear rug.
Sorry?
I'm glad something good happened. Yeah, a lot of exes, they don't get along well later. So I'm glad that worked out.
No, my dancing, since she has moved on to dancing, and Martine can dance very well, I was hopeless. I was in a West End play, and director producer Sanjay Khan from India came and he saw me and he said, would you please do this film? It's called Chandi Sona. Now, I can't dance like these amazing Bollywood. I mean, they were born dancing. They grew up in the movies dancing. Their stories include dancing. She got pleasure, I got beaten. I went and I had 2 weeks of lessons learning to do this dance and holding my hands correctly and my fingers, and had to grow fingernails that were not short, and I'm thinking, this is murder. I'm sure I gave myself to this man to kill me. I went out there and I was up. His classes started at 7 a.m. and I asked him if he didn't sleep. Couldn't he wait till the sun was up? He said, no, I start early, work till late. And every day for 2 weeks, that man was hitting me on my ankles, around my waist. I thought, by the time we filmed this sequence. And at the time, a lot of European actors didn't do anything in India. Now they do it, but as a friend, I said I would do it because I wanted to show off to my friends that I can do it. God, did I regret, or did my body regret that I sent it out there? Because I suddenly felt as if my body and me are two separate entities. And I did it, and I was up, and then we went to a place called Goa to do the show, the filming of it. That was where the location, but the training and the classes were in Bombay itself. And those 2 weeks of pain, torture, ice water, I went, there must be something more pleasurable in life than this. They've got to be. Even the hottest curry must be more pleasurable than this. I was in pain. I went to bed in pain, I got up in pain, and then when I did it, I said, right, we're going to do it, I'm ready for this now. And they got me my little sort of bra thing and my tassels, and I was ready, and the fingernails were long. The hands were perfect, and I could do it. And I could do the waistline. God, I was good. And I went, and I said, get me back on the plane. I'll go back to London. No more, no more. So I didn't do any more Bollywood. They asked me to say, they offered me other things. So I did other things. So I did voiceover, but I was not going to do anything that relates to dancing again. I still remember that man going whack on my feet, whack, whack on my hand.
He whacked you? How rude.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And he says, stretch that. Oh, get a harder look on the body line. And I'm going, my little waistline as it is. Oh, I said, by the time I'm finished, I'll have real powerful tits. I had to.
Power tips, my favorite.
I had a flat stomach, and my muscles were tense and strong, and all the leg movement, and you had to stand in such a way that it doesn't, the line. I thought I was one of those people doing bulls and running down the streets in Spain.
In Spain?
Yeah, a matador. I had that figure.
Oh, I'd love to have seen that.
Oh no, I will not. And funny enough, Badar came and was telling me about that film, and I said, would you mind? We won't talk about it. We definitely won't talk about
Why ever
that.
not? It sounds wonderful.
It sounds great. I really need to see it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that. I
yeah,
need to see yours.
so that was
And
my
Polly.
Bollywood, and that was my dancing, and my torture. And so that's the film I remember for torture. There you go.
So listen, do you think, what do you think? I mean, do you think we should stop thinking about going back?
No, should we ask you a question?
Oh.
2 minutes. What do you want to talk about? Now you talk. What did you see that, and having seen it, and you saw it and it was fantastic, and you remember that moment in whichever film? What did you see that you thoroughly liked? Go ahead.
Well, I recently just saw that when Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, and I was very impressed at how much meaning you guys were able to basically create in a movie that had literally the same words for all the dialogue. You still conveyed so much meaning through and the drama between the characters. I was very impressed by that.
Which one?
When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, the Roger Corman film.
Red Dinosaurs.
No, I didn't do Dinosaurs. I did 1 Million SBC.
Oh, well, I've seen that too.
That's wonderful.
But did you have a lot of
I
dialogue?
love
in
your
that?
pickup.
But I appreciate
Which
that
also
Joe's-
required minimal dialogue.
Yeah, I appreciate how people are able to emote and evoke so much meaning in movies where they have
That's
almost no
actually
dialogue.
a very nice point, because we did sit around the cast with the director, trying to figure out certain words that we could use to help us through, because of course we didn't have a lot of and we did come up with. I remember there was only one that I remember is Majak, kill. But we came up with words to sort of guide us a little bit, but it was only a few. After that, it was just sounds, Yeah, no, it was really. I suppose in a way it was sort of like almost miming, in a way.
What about you? Anyone from this side? What film have you seen that you liked, and what did you remember about it?
My mind's a blank.
Oh, that's okay. Join us. Somebody else over here.
I have a question. So, growing up watching all your films, the Hammer films, all that stuff, one thing that always stuck out to me is I always wondered what it was like to live amongst those people, amongst those artists in that era. How tight of a community did you guys have? Like, were you guys all friends? It really feels like all that work had to be like a collaboration of people that were like-minded and shared a lot of similar interests. Like, was there like a thriving scene?
There was, in a limited time frame. We worked together. We only had 6 weeks. So it was like a great family or love affair. And then it's going to end and pick up again another time, somewhere in the future. And the friendship would be, let's help each other. We're not making a fortune. We're not getting residual. It was a flat amount of money, and that's it. And it went right across the board until later on as unions and came into play. So you want the rest of the people to look good. You want to look good yourself. And so you become helpful. You become nice. You didn't have time to be bitchy and all that, because you don't have that luxury of time. You have a day, and you probably could pick up about 4 scenes close up. You didn't have 30, 40 takes, or you were lucky. You were lucky if you get the first 2 and then the pickup. and then the response to somebody else's that was on the set that you're working with, and that's it. So you have to at that time show respect for someone else, give the best of you to make it work. And it's all about making it work, because if they look good, you're sure you're damn well going to look good as well. If you're spending your time being awful and you're not going to come out on top, so everyone wants you to collaborate and get it done, and then move on, get paid for the next job. It was a job.
But it was also, what is interesting with both Hammer and Bond, it's a family.
Mm-hmm.
For that period, it's very intense because you form immediate friendships, and you literally, it's like a dance. Actually, it's like a dance because you have to move together, you have to work together, you have to kind of feel each other. You have to. And actually, that is the thing that kept me going as an actress, because I loved it. I loved this kind of, working with people and being with them, because it is just like this wonderful dance. And it's the same thing with Bond. It's a family. And in fact, if you ask anybody about Bond or Hammer, they will say, all actors will say, family. It's about family. And of course, that suits me fine, because I just believe in total tribal. I do. Listen, we came from tribes, so, what the hell? We are. And interestingly, I've used tribes for a long time. I heard, this tribe here and that tribe there. And now I hear people on the radio going, well, which tribe do you belong to? And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, that's my word. Stop. But it's starting to come. People are using it a lot more. Maybe because we really need to come together. I don't want to go there.
Anyone else? Because I
think we're about to talk.
Yes. Last question, last opportunity.
Better be good.
Go for it.
Okay, I just want to ask if y'all had an opportunity to see the article in Hollywood Reporter about the Hammer films that was written by John Logan, the Academy Award winning screenwriter work.
No.
Very, very.
Oh my God. Oh my God. John Logan I discovered was a friend of mine, and we met online. We met on Zoom, and he wrote this tribute to me. 5 pages of stuff, and actually almost brought me to tears. I thought, who is this person he's talking about?
Wow.
How did this man, what did he get into my psyche? I don't understand. We've formed and now we're on constantly, we've formed such a relationship, and we've never met. We're completely connected. It's the most bizarre thing. And this is amazing. Do you know what? I didn't even think about it. It was, and then he said, I want to put it in the Hollywood Reporter. I went, what? And it came out, and it is just stunning. I swear to God, I don't know who he's talking about. It's certainly not me. Wow. Really, my heart was pounding when I read it. I went, oh my God, what? And then of course everybody said, of course he got your essence, Marty. They were ridiculous. Yes, but how could he do that? He doesn't know me.
Well, he's read everything about you. That was out there to read.
Guess what?
And he talked with a few people.
No, you know what it was all about?
What?
Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. He was a huge fan. He thought it was one of the great films.
But
one
it
of the great
is.
performances.
It was.
And I thought, what are you talking about?
It is. It's great.
Yeah,
It is great. I
And
get it.
he literally, and because he did stuff that I love. Penny Dreadful was one of my favorite, television.
Oh, that was good. I really enjoyed that.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it was so brilliant. And says it in the tribute. He says, I felt that I had gotten such a hand on a hold on what I was on my character. He said that he got the cast of Penny Dreadful to look at my film, to have a look at what I was doing.
Wow.
Are you working for
That's
why?
brilliant.
Aw.
Oh, that's
I mean,
brilliant.
I'm sorry, what? Why? I mean, you know, these people are fantastic actors. They don't need to look at this. You know, I mean, I am still shocked. I am still shocked at it. And it is just, but he did go into it, and I thought, my God, he actually got a lot of how I was feeling about it and who I am, which it threw me completely.
We were talking about this at Maggie's event, and you still haven't. It sounds as if you still haven't recovered in
No.
your thoughts about it.
No, I haven't. I still haven't. And of course now, the thing is that because we're now connected and we've had major, you know, thing, and we've sent texts and we've talked, I mean, we're now at the darling stage.
Oh, wow.
You know, my
Oh, the
darling
darling stage.
We are like so connected. And he has a husband, and I said, well, I do hope that your husband doesn't mind sharing, because you realize, of course, we're smitten. You know, and I can hardly wait, because I'm going to Los Angeles in November. We can hardly wait to meet.
Oh,
It
that's
is the
great.
most bizarre thing. He looks so lovely. And he's a friend of Sam. He's the one who introduced me to him.
Isn't that?
Yeah. So that was my, I'm still, what?
It's got to be now or never. Anything else, please, because we've got to go. I think we have been.
Yes, I mean, we are way over, baby.
I saw
Way
the
over,
lady,
baby.
and she
On that
came
note.
for us a while back, and she couldn't say anything because we looked at her.
So,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.